I had heard stories of human trafficking. I'd heard stories of child trafficking. But immediately in my mind, I'm thinking Thailand and Cambodia and other third world countries. That's where it is. It's somewhere over there. It's 10,000 miles away. What I was shocked to learn and horrified to learn that most people today still don't know is that all of that has made its way to our country. There are children being bought and sold on the internet and bought and sold out on the streets. It's here in our cities. It gets real when you can actually be in the presence of these kids. They're so young. They're so young.
To be able to kind of wrap your head around something that is happening here, it shifts your reality. It really does, believing that there are kids in your neighborhood that are being trafficked.
There are at least 300,000 minors being trafficked for sex in the United States. The average age of entry is 12 years old. In 2016, there were 35% more reports of human trafficking than there were in 2015. 35%. That's the fastest growing crime in the world. The FBI projects that there's 900,000 predators online. 900,000.
All teenagers are our population of young adults. Anybody with a Facebook account or an Instagram account is at risk. Saving Innocence has been in existence since 2010. We are a Los Angeles-based nonprofit, but working nationally to consult with other agencies to work towards the rescue and restoration of child victims of human trafficking.
Saving Innocence has a unique place in this solution. We partner with law enforcement in a way that currently no one else does.
We have a crisis response program called the First Responder Protocol. So we'll respond within 90 minutes of a call from law enforcement when a child has been recovered as a potential or confirmed victim of child trafficking or commercial sexual exploitation.
It's not a quick fix. It's not a quick turnaround. We stabilize the crisis as best we can, and then we walk with this child through life back to a place of health and wholeness.
As a case manager, I'm an extra support system to youth in the community that need extra support when they don't have it.
We're really able to talk with the child and find out what they need. What is it that's lacking? What is it that's missing? What is it that you feel like would best support you?
Such as enrolling in school, getting a driver's license, making sure that somebody's checking in on them to make sure that they get home safely.
These kids have been lied to and cheated and stolen from at the deepest, most vulnerable time in their life. So with that comes deep psychological and emotional damage.
They need somebody to know that somebody cares about them. That's what we do. We kind of fill in the gaps in between those things. So we kind of act as, I say support system, but another word is probably just another lifeline or family source or outlet that they can talk to.
These children are victims of child abuse. They're not criminals. What is it about our society that has enabled this? And how come, relatively speaking, nobody knows about it? The life expectancy of one of these children once they begin is 7 years. Our staff learned of that in a painful way last summer when one of our children was killed.
I had a youth that I met in the juvenile hall system, and she was just adorable. The time that she spent with me, she was working towards good things. And she always had a good outlook on herself and a good outlook on her life. But I got a phone call from her probation officer, and she was like, I have bad news. And I was like, what kind of bad news are we kind of talking about? And she was just like, I just talked to the coroner's office and they found this youth. It was the most devastating thing that I've ever had in my job. Our job is based off relationships and communication. And we build relationships with these girls. So these girls are not only our clients, but they're like our little sisters, our daughters, they're like our family. And so just to have like a family member, like knowing that a family member like passed away in such a horrible manner is just, I can't explain it. But that's the nature of the job. Those are things that happen to our girls on a regular basis. I can think of 1,000 other stories of girls that have passed because of the lifestyle that they lived.
You know, there is a grieving that you do and just grieving their childhoods and grieving their innocence and grieving the things that they're missing or that have been stolen. But at the end of the day, like, what can I do to help?
I was with a survivor this past weekend, and she said for the first 5 months of this, I was fighting, I was trying to figure out how to get out of this. And she said after 5 months, the guilt, the shame, in her mind, the realization of how worthless she now was, she said, I quit fighting for myself, and I needed someone else to fight for me. We need a bunch of strong men and women to rise up, to get up and go do something, to be part of this solution.
I know that we can't save all lives. Like, I completely understand that. But if we can at least improve or show them a different path to a better life, like, I feel like then we done something.
It's taking the opportunities to add positivity and to add hope where they've lost it. They're so worth it. I mean, if you saw these kids, they're so smart and they're so strong and they're so resilient and they want it so bad.
The tide is turning, and LA and Saving Innocence is proud to be part of that turning tide.
If there's anything that I could do in my life that would be more worthwhile, I mean, I haven't done.